Welcome to Marion County Today. I'm Janet Carlson, Marion County Commissioner, and we're very excited today to be able to talk about a topic that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and that is the eclipse that is coming up that will be seen, I think. The best view, right, is in Marion County, Oregon, or one of the best views.
One of the best views.
One of the best views. And our first guest today is Richard Berry. Richard, tell us what your role is with the eclipse.
Well, I live close to the center line, so I'll be observing the eclipse with telescopes and cameras.
And you're with the Astronomy Club, right? Tell us about that
I'm the
first.
president of the Night Sky Astronomy Club, Night Sky 45 Astronomy Club this year, yes.
Okay. How long have you been with that club?
About 20 years now.
Wow. And what got you interested in astronomy?
Oh, when I was a kid. When I got glasses at age 13, I could suddenly see stars in the sky. And, you know, I was interested in dinosaurs and radio and everything like that. But once I could see stars, it was like, wow, this is what I really want to do. So
this eclipse is a really big deal, right?
This is going to be a fun event, yes.
So why is it such a big deal? If someone out there hasn't heard that, you know, they've been in a mole and in a cave and they haven't heard we're having this eclipse, tell us a little bit about what's going to happen.
Well, for roughly 2 minutes, anyone who lives within the path of the shadow will be in the path of the moon's shadow, or will be in the shadow of the moon, so that the sun, which you'll see in the sky, will be completely covered by the moon. And what you'll see, first of all, the brightness will drop by a huge amount, drops about 10 million times in brightness. So it'll all of a sudden be like 45 minutes after sunset in terms of darkness. Not black like night, but what you'll be seeing in the sky then is a black disk, the backside of the moon, surrounded by the sun's atmosphere, which is called the corona.
Okay. So that's fascinating. And so why is it that we can see it here? Kind of explain like how it crosses the United States. Do you have any sense of that?
Well, as the moon moves in its orbit, it's always casting a shadow. And there are times when the moon passes between the sun and the earth such that the shadow crosses the earth. And so here's the spinning globe, and here's the moving shadow, and it just so happens this time it crosses North America. It starts in the Pacific, where it first encounters the planet, and then it moves across the globe from Oregon, across through Illinois, and then finally leaves the continent at South Carolina, and then it continues across the Atlantic Ocean.
So it's just in that line. So not everybody's going to be able to see it in the U.S., just people that are kind of in this path that.
That's right. If you're not along the path, which is about 60 miles wide, what you'll see is the sun partially covered by the moon.
I see.
So you see a crescent.
So I'm trying to figure out if I go to Boise whether or not I'm going to see it there or not.
Check the map. Make sure. Because if you're not in the zone of totality, it will simply get darker. But not that much darker. Probably enough to make the chickens go to roost or something like that, but not profoundly much darker.
So this doesn't happen very often, right?
Anywhere in the world, there's a couple eclipses a year.
Oh, really? Okay.
But to be in a place where a really good one happens, it's more like, well, if you just sat in this spot, it would be once every few hundred years. An eclipse would cross Oregon. So
for those of us living in this area, this is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, right?
It's a fantastic opportunity because we don't have to travel. The eclipses I've seen before, I saw an eclipse in 1983 in Indonesia. That was a 10,000-mile trip. I went to Baja, California, and saw one in 1991 on a ship. And that was, you know, a big deal.
So you were telling me before the show that there would, and I think Commissioner Brentano is going to be talking to our health department folks about preparedness because that's a big part of it. You said you were in Queensland, is that right, for an eclipse, or
no,
you know about them?
That was the one that the Travel Oregon people were first taking as their model of a similar eclipse. What's going to happen here?
I see.
Because if an eclipse is crossing, say, Central Africa, there's far fewer people who are going to travel that far to see it.
Uh-huh.
What the United States has, as the eclipse crosses here, is a fantastic set of roads and things so that we can very
Right.
easily hop on the interstate and drive 500 miles and get to it.
So all of a sudden, we're going to have a whole lot of people here that don't live here that have come here just to see the eclipse. I've heard like the hotels are all booked, campgrounds
yes.
are all booked, parks are probably be full. There's going to be a lot of people here.
That appears to be the case. I
Yeah.
mean, everybody I know who's interested in astronomy is going to be here.
And probably booked a year ago, right? At least.
The people who didn't are just beginning to realize that they missed their chance. That they're going to be, Lord knows where, in a farmer's field, cooking in the heat.
So you're going to have some special things going on with your club and with others like your club, right? That you're going to be doing during this eclipse, besides just watching it. What types of things are you going to be working on?
A lot of people in the club are actually observing individually or with small groups of friends. We decided a long time ago it was difficult for the club to do something coordinated. Instead, individuals have set up arrangements with wineries and other businesses and venues in the area to help out for people who will show up and share an event at the winery or at the other place.
Okay, and then taking photos probably is a big part of
And
that.
taking photographs and telling people how to observe the eclipse safely and so forth.
So tell us about your contact in Wyoming and how you're going to be letting them know about the exposures on the pictures.
Well, a friend of mine who's also participating in an experiment to measure the gravitational deflection of starlight by the sun. This is a real science experiment. One of the key things we don't know is exactly how bright the sky will be, because it'll depend on cloud and things like that, and how bright the corona will be. We will take exposures at our site. The shadow of the moon will take about 20 minutes to get to Wyoming. We should be able to get in touch with him and tell him what exposures work best, and that he will set his camera for the optimum exposures. We'll have to be taking test shots ourselves.
So there's a lot of collaboration that goes on
There should be
between the different
yes,
groups
yes.
then.
Right. I mean, we're all working together right now to work out the best way to carry out some of these more science-type experiments.
So what else would you like people to know about from your perspective in terms of this great event that's coming up?
I think the most important thing is to, as it happens, look around and see everything that's going on. It's going to be really neat because as that last bit of sunlight disappears, you'll see the corona will appear in the sky. But look all around you because you'll be seeing you'll be able to see outside the shadow. So overhead, you'll see darkness, dark blue sky. You should be able to see the planet Venus, some other bright stars in the sky. As you look around, you'll see outside the shadow, you'll see sunlight from areas outside the totality. Look around and observe the whole thing. And then look up at the sun and see the...
With your glasses on, right?
No.
You don't want to put those...
During totality, the brightness has dropped. It's safe for that 2-minute period to look at the sun because it's only about as bright as the full moon. During the partial phases, when the photosphere of the sun is exposed, yes, you want to. And the best way to use the glasses is to look straight across, put the glasses over your face, look up, see what you're seeing, look down, and take the glasses down. If you keep the glasses on, you're stumbling around because the glasses are totally opaque. You can't see anything excepting the sun with them on.
Well, this is fascinating, and it's so wonderful that you could come and be a guest today, and we're going to look forward. Hopefully you will have the perfect day for this eclipse, and it will all go swimmingly for you.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.